Hey guys, welcome to another SorareStrats video. I'm GW and today we're going to be doing a review of the Premier League. I'm going to be having a little look at what was the best defensive stack of the weekend, who were the best midfielders, who were the best forwards, and finally what was the perfect team you could have played this week if you were to win, and how does that compare to the team that actually won. If you do enjoy the video, then please do give it a like. I am a very new channel, so any likes and subscriptions that you can give me, it all adds up. So I really appreciate everyone. And if you think I've got anything wrong, then do leave it in the comments below and I'll reply and give you my thoughts. But anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with Arsenal. This is a team that we all fancy would be the team to stack this weekend. Do you remember last season towards the end where every week it seemed that an Arsenal stack was absolutely smashing the leaderboards? Well, this season so far it hasn't really happened, and I'm kind of surprised because Bournemouth away I fancied them to get a clean sheet. To be fair, we could say that over the last few games they've had some very inferior opponents to play against and they're leaking goals. Not sure what it is exactly, but they just don't look right. I know they're missing Odegaard, they were missing Saka. They ended up getting Saliba sent off, but even prior to the sending off, they didn't look in control. Bournemouth looked the better team. I feel like Arsenal stacks will be getting a little bit worried at the moment. I'm not sure what they need to do to fix this, but they are a great team. They should come good in the end. Right, Brighton continue their impressive run of form. This is a team that I always felt were going to be very good this season, and they have been. They really are a good team. They've got a good passing style. They are very open at the back. So the fact that they kept a clean sheet this weekend away to Newcastle, I was very surprised at. It did take a very, very good performance from Bart for Verbruggen, so he definitely picked up a lot of AA. We'll cover him later. But as a all-round outfit, Brighton are ones to watch this season. They're missing a few key players as well. Matt O'Reilly's been injured pretty much since they got him. João Pedro, who I think is one of their best players, has also been out. But they got the win. They had Mitoma on the bench. Minter didn't even make the squad. So they've got a lot of impressive players and definitely a team that I'll be keeping a keen eye on this season. One for all the United fans out there. Ten Hag, the pressure does ease on him after they picked up the victory against Brentford. This was a victory that I say they did deserve the victory, but it didn't look good when they went a goal behind. So as we know, United, they can crumble. Some of the mentality of some of their players is not great. But they managed to pull through. It was a deserved victory in the end. Good performances from Bruno, from Garnacho. It's something for them to build upon. I don't think it's going to lead them to marching up the table because I still see vulnerabilities there. But for now, it's a good result and it keeps them ticking over. So the big game of the weekend, Liverpool versus Chelsea, two teams that have been really impressive compared to what probably people thought they were going to do this season. As a big Liverpool fan myself, I was keen to see how Slot would cope with a bit of a sterner test. I wasn't overly impressed with Liverpool. 43% possession at home. Felt we sat back far too much. I much prefer Klopp's style of gung-ho, like really put the pressure on, and I didn't enjoy the game from that point of view. The referee was atrocious for both teams. Some of the decisions he was giving was ludicrous. But the main talking point is Salah again. The Egyptian king, he is a machine. He just keeps on producing. You can't write this guy off, even at his age now, 33. Why the club haven't given him a new contract, I don't know. If you're looking for a forward in the Premier League, he probably is. I'm a bit biased, but I think he's the top guy. He bangs in the goals. He's on penalties. He plays pretty much 90 minutes every game. He's also very creative, so he actually produces most of our assists and big chances as well. From Chelsea's point of view, it was a solid performance from them. I was quite impressed with what they did. They've got a young squad. They're only going to continue to get better. If you are a Chelsea fan, I'm sure you're preferring the style of play at the moment. I think Nicholas Jackson, the jury is still out on him. He did score a goal. It was a good finish. Is he the man that will kind of be there for years to come? I kind of have my doubts. Palmer, very quiet game from him. By his standards, he had a couple of half chances, but Liverpool did keep him very quiet. And I do feel if you're playing against Chelsea, if you keep Palmer quiet, they haven't got many other threats that look like they're going to do too much currently. Okay, the Spurs game, the first game of the weekend. I really enjoy this game. It was Spurs are a very good watch. I really do enjoy the way they play. It doesn't really get them the results every week, and when they went a goal down, I thought, is this another one of their capitulations, Spursy type performance? But no, they actually came back and they played really well. Obviously, they had Son back. It was helped in part, like I don't know if you've seen the sending off of Kudos. It was hilarious. Let's be real. He could have had like 3 or 4 red cards in one like 10-second spell. It was very good, very, very funny. What I enjoyed most was when Richarlison, he'd only been on the pitch for a few minutes, but we all know what he's like. He bowled in there to I'm going to get involved. As soon as he bowled in there, he kind of got shouldered and he went tumbling to the ground. So that was funny. Spurs are actually, I would say, is a very good team if you are looking to stack, especially offensively. You've got Maddison, who is on set pieces. He gets lots of AA, creates chances, can have a shot himself. Obviously, Son. Now he's back in the team. He's always one of the best forwards in the game. Solanke, I think he is going to do well there, but he is your typical number 9. He isn't going to get much AA. He's very reliant on getting those goals to make his score worthwhile. But you've got other options. You've got Brennan Johnson. Defensively, they're not sound defensively. I never feel they're going to get a clean sheet. But you do have like Pedro Porro, who is very attacking. He can definitely get the AA score. Christian Romero, he pops up with goals here and there. And Vicario, he may not always get clean sheets, but he does seem to be someone who he gets a lot of AA. He does produce a lot of saves. He gets involved. So all round, a very good game. But yeah, the sending off was definitely the highlight of the week for me. It was so funny. The interesting thing about the defensive stacks this weekend is that they were all from teams that were playing away. You wouldn't typically fancy them to get clean sheets. And it's also from teams that are probably not the favourites in most of these games. Certainly wasn't the big teams that came away with the points this week. So your Arsenals, your Cities both conceded, Liverpool conceded, Chelsea conceded, Tottenham conceded. So I think this goes to show that when it comes to, if you're doing things on a budget, you don't really have to get the premium defensive players if you want to compete. Often with the goalkeepers, you're going to find that the best goalkeepers scoring wise will be from probably the mid-range teams where the keeper makes a few saves and can still get the clean sheet. So as you look through the list of teams here, you've got Everton, who were away, but they kept a clean sheet, did very well. Keane, he also he got a decisive action, came away with a yellow card, so could have actually got a higher score than that. Second up, Brighton. So I really like Brighton. They are a team that I actually collect. They're not really a team that I fancied to get a clean sheet to Newcastle, if I'm being really honest. Defensively, they are not great. They hold a very high line, and they're very susceptible to conceding chances. So it did take a very good game from Bart Verbruggen. He made a very good amount of saves, picked up the AA. As you can see, came in there. Over 90. An over 90 score for a goalie means that not only did he keep a clean sheet, but he was involved. He wasn't just standing there at the other end of the pitch doing nothing. And along with him, we've got Ferdi Kadioglu, who I think is going to actually come on strong in the second half of the season. He has got a lot of offensive abilities, so it was good to see him get a start. He has been eased in. And top of the tree for this week, and this is another really interesting thing. Brentford did not keep a clean sheet. So typically when you're doing these single league comps, you want to always pick a goalie and a defender from the same team because you're only looking out to get one clean sheet to get them both covered. With Brentford, they were under the cosh a bit against United, and Flecken, he got a good AA. That's what carried him to a 74. He conceded. If he'd have got a clean sheet as well, he would have been looking at a very high score indeed. On top of that, you got Ethan Pinnock. He's doing really well actually. he got 100, so certainly one to keep an eye on, because from budget wise he is certainly a budget pick, but he's very dangerous at the attacking end of the pitch. He can get those goals, and he actually is very good defensively as well. So there we go, guys. The top defensive stack this week: no clean sheet, away at Old Trafford, and yeah, maybe something to think about going forward. The best midfielder that you could have owned this week in the Premier League is, and I can't believe I'm saying this, Curtis Jones. Yes, that Curtis Jones from Liverpool. He had a good game. He got involved at both ends of the pitch. He was making tackles, so he was getting his AA up in that respect. He got fouled for the penalty, which he got a decisive action for, and he also popped up and scored. I don't think he's going to be threatening the leaderboards. I don't think many people would have had him in a team. But yeah, look at that, 97, a clear winner this game week. On top of Bruno Fernandes, he is pivotal to United. If United win, he's usually at the heart of that. He's got great AA on his day. He takes penalties. He's on set pieces. So he had a good game. Will that continue? Who knows? With United, it's very much up and down with them, mainly down to be fair. And finally coming in at 86 overall points, Yuri Tillemans, solid player for Aston Villa. He's one of those players that he can score very highly. This season particularly, he slotted in from Douglas Luiz's role, where he can kind of be at the heart of the midfield, really running the game. He had a good game. So now that we've looked at the midfielders, let's move on and have a look at those forwards. Top forward to own this week would have been Garnacho. Garnacho is a very good player in Sorare terms. He always picks up a lot of AA, and if he can always just try and get a decisive action, if he can get an assist or a goal, he often has a very, very high score. His ceiling is definitely 100. He's 100 capable. With United's tragic form that they've been in, he hasn't really been doing too much. But just like as we discussed with Bruno earlier, if they can actually put a run of good results together, he's likely to be at the head of the scoring. So if you are a United collectioner, I don't know if that's a collectioner, but anyway, if you hold a United collection, you're likely to be playing Bruno and Garnacho, and the kind of players that can link up together. After that, we've got Salah. I've already discussed Salah. What more is to say about him? He's a Premier League legend. He will always be one that is likely to be heading the scoring charts. And after that, Jeremy Doku. So as a Jeremy Doku holder myself, he's very, very frustrating to own. One, because you can't guarantee he's going to play. Like with Pep Roulette, is he going to be starting? Who knows? If he does start, his decision making isn't great. He often should be passing when he shoots, should be shooting when he passes. But his dribbling is very, very good. Teams have to double up on him. So this weekend against Wolves, he did really well. He still made a few wrong decisions, but yeah, he came in at 83. Got his decisive action. And again, like if I could rely on him, I'd be putting him in a priority lineup, but I never can. So he always goes in either the under 23s or a lower rated team for me. But we've covered the defensive stacks, the midfielders, the forwards. So given all that, what would have been the top rated team this week if you could pick anyone? Let's have a look. This is the best team that you could have actually played for this game week. As you can see from it, we've talked about a few of these players already. The whole team actually costs £108 if you were to buy it at Classic, £146 if you was to buy it in season. That is good value if you're playing it in Div 1 or Div 2. You could win like £1,200 in Div 1 of in season. So in terms of relative spend, you'd earn your money back on this team straight away. Interestingly, Ethan Pinnock, who's actually a very good player, doing very well for Brentford, very capable of hitting those peaks. £1 Classic, £2 in season. So there are bargains out there. And the thing that I would really take away from this, in terms of stacks, this team is unrelated. You do not need to stack to win. In fact, it is probably sub-optimum to stack. I do stack in my Classic because I watch the game. I know it's suboptimum, but I really enjoy watching a game where I've got all my 5 players playing. What I don't like to do is have, for example, like maybe 3-man stacking, because if a team has already played and I've had a player let me down, if I then settle down to watch that game, I'm kind of going into it thinking, well, from a Sorare perspective, it's already kind of dead. Whereas if I've got a 5-man stack, it's enjoyable, it's more fun. But if you're going in and for you it's not about fun, it's, you know, you want to make money, you want to earn big bucks, then yeah, I would not recommend really stacking. You want to go for the 5 best players. So for example, typically you want to be looking at getting Salah in, maybe Cole Palmer, Gvardiol, Raya. But it's entirely up to you how you play the game, but don't let anyone tell you that stacking is the only way, or certainly don't let them tell you it's the best way. I'd say it's the most fun way. So that's the best team that you could have played this week. So what are we going to do next week? Are we going to stack? Are we going to look at the fixtures? Let me know your thoughts down below. Now, this is the team that I'm going to put on screen now. This team is the team that has got the highest points total for the week. As you can see, there's a lot of players that we've already mentioned there. Again, this team is comfortably winning, and it isn't stacking. There's a couple from Villa, but it isn't a stack at all. It just makes you think. So I think as I do this series, we'll really start to kind of work out what is the best strategy, who are the kind of players and teams that tend to work well. Is defensive stacking going to be the play? I personally would always at least do a defensive stack. But maybe I'll start to question it if I look into this a lot deeper every week. If you've enjoyed the video, yeah, give it a like. Do subscribe if you haven't. Let me know what kinds of content you want put out there. And yeah, thank you very much.